All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Kakushigoto, episode 11.
Oh. That's second to last episode.
I know, I'm not ready for the show to be
I
over.
know. Oh my god. So, we had some really sweet stuff with Kakashi and Hime.
Yep.
And they went out on their little trip that she won because she's super lucky.
Indeed.
And then we had some hilarious shenanigans with it. And then some awkward stuff surrounding the idea of secrets.
Indeed. And we realized what happened more or less with Kakashi in the present.
Yes.
Quit being a manga artist because he didn't think people could see him as funny, because the whole issue of his wife dying got brought into public light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's encouraging for me, because that at least means that, you know, he might not be dead. But maybe. But, you know, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love the ultimate twist to be that this is a dramatic setup for actually a season 1 finale twist where he's alive, but he's out there and he's failed as a father and she needs to find him.
If they do something where it's like some reconciliation between the two for the finale of the episode,
I'm crying my eyes out.
I will bawl buckets of tears.
But y'all, we're trying to hope, but you know, it's probably not.
It could still be
go
pretty
that
bad.
way. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone. Now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below. Then come back here for the discussion. Well, it's basically confirmed at this point. We did the whole thing. Instead of when we went back to the present, we went back to the beginning of the present story, which is cool because that's basically like saying now in the next episode, we might get entirely the present, or like 50% or like 30% of the episode will be that, which that's going to be its own thing. Or that we don't even need to spend much time in the present, because we already know basically what's happening.
And then we just need to show how he dies.
How it gets to that. Now, I think that this is the kind of show that wouldn't just for one episode decide to just be like, death, pain, horror. But I do think that we will have a goodbye.
Yeah.
And yet, I could also see there being some kind of a happy ending to this.
I'm hoping.
In that, there's a possibility that Kakashi finds a way to basically not have to say goodbye, but give her basically the way in which she can see him again. That's not going to be him being alive necessarily, but some things that he's left behind for her so that this continues on. And I can't wait to see how that plays out.
I'm still huffing the copium that somehow he's not dead, because
he's dead though.
But I
know, man. I know. But there's a thing with comedy with this show that I will not put past it to find some way.
What did you think I was gonna die? You know,
yeah, that would be cruel. But they could figure out a way to do it. But this episode, I would just say, was one of the funniest episodes as well.
God, it was wonderful.
The way the miscommunication was set up to work out in this way made so much sense. And I love Tomoruin's character even more now.
Yeah, it's
because of how silly this was. And yet I understand the perspectives of everyone there. It's just, how are you so oblivious at times, dude? How?
When I think of characters that I love to hate, I think of villains, you know? And in a way, Tomoruin is kind of the villain of Kakushigoto. You know, I mean, there's also the father-in-law, you know, but like,
the father-in-law hasn't done anything direct yet.
Right. It's just we don't exactly know.
We just don't trust him.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. We're you know, but Tomoruin. Oh man, the fact that he has ruin in his name is just—it's so fitting. It's so fitting because and miscommunication humor. It's like one of my favorite things to get in a comedy, right? Like it can just be so good.
Came dangerously close to miscommunication drama, which is something we're not as much of a fan of. But with humor, god, this was
because then you just have layers to it where there's like multiple jokes being told at the same time, and it's glorious.
The water cooler joke in general just set the pace for the episode to be like, yes, that is the kind of joke we're making here. Cooler water. water cooler.
Uh-huh.
Ha 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 ha.
But then, like, also the thing of, oh, yeah, no. Like, Tomoruin just holding the pages and then just...
Whoops.
Like, oh my God.
What I love about this is because he thinks he's an amazing editor, he doesn't immediately just go into Kakashi and be like, well, I lost the manuscript.
Right.
He goes and he, like,
climbs down into the well.
Everywhere, climbs into a dirty old well, like, 9,
yeah.
10. I found 10 pages.
Out of 16. As if those pages that you found would even be necessarily usable anyways.
Mm-hmm. As if Rasuna would ever let you have the original manuscript.
Which is just
not
like...
stupid enough.
Rasuna
has been, like, so competent and, like...
Get a back brace, honey, because you've been carrying this team...
Not just for your amazing boobs,
Right. You've been carrying this team on your own 2 shoulders.
Right. I loved the joke also of... what's his name? Kakaru, I believe. He was like, and I.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares.
And the way that they're all like really excited because they're like,
I booked a trip around Europe.
Yeah, like because
I had to laugh because it's just so funny, but I kind of feel bad now, like thinking back on it.
Because it's like one of those worst kept secrets that, like, if you're making manga, it's like rip work-life balance. Like, so the idea that they're like, we're actually going to have a break.
A break.
Dare we even say it?
They're like, being unemployed, that's amazing.
Yeah, like...
we can just go and slave somewhere else and
but we can do that later,
We can do that at any point.
I've been wanting to work on my own material. I've got ideas and
Dude, that's the crazy thing, is that they've got so much money potentially saved up because they haven't been able to live their lives. So it's just the thing of where it's like, oh yeah, I can go and just backpack around Europe for like a month.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I have the money for that.
Yep. And then the whole thing that Kakashi went into about the idea of series ending and then the time between series and then how time can fly by, and then as you become more emotionally stable, you have fewer good ideas. And it's like, yeah. Like,
this is all true.
Being a writer, like, is basically professional schizophrenia.
Exactly.
Like it's okay. Take your insanity and try and give it form. Either
no, that's
with
the
words
editor's job.
Right? Yeah.
No, you just vomit this insanity onto the page. Have your assistants kind of, fill in the gaps a little bit, and then put it off to an editor and be like,
yeah, it's bleh. Look what I made for you.
The editor's like, this is amazing.
This will be amazing.
I can really see the humanity in this.
Right. Man.
This really did feel like one of those classic sitcom episodes where you have the daughter basically like, I want a family meeting. And the guy's just like, oh my God, family meeting. What does this mean?
Right.
Multiple times she reminds him. And he keeps forgetting just due to his work life, showing again how he's focused more on work than on her. Mm-hmm. But also the idea of like, talk about family meeting? Or is this a meeting with the family?
Right, which is just the two of us,
So why do we need to have a meeting?
Does it involve the dog somehow? Right, and
I love that you can tell that his neuroticism and his panic kind of leads to him assuming the worst about this because it's nothing really to assume. It's just a thing of, well, what do you want to talk about?
Right, he may just likes being formal about things.
Yeah, exactly. And just hey, I know you're a busy guy, and I don't want to take time away from this.
Oh God. Like, I was so worried that when Tomoruin let the pages slip out that it was going to be like,
I can't do the
sorry, Kakashi, you've got to redo everything that you did tonight in some crazy bender and just hope the arts that you remember how to do the art, Yeah, exactly, right? Overwork, there you go, And then it's like, oh, sorry, honey, I can't do it. Daddy's got to work at his job. That he can't tell her what it is, so she doesn't understand why necessarily. It's just, but thankfully that didn't happen because people can depend on the fact that Tomoruin is a fucking idiot.
Oh man, the editor-in-chief interaction was so beautiful.
Oh god, that was amazing. And the actual water cooler conversation when they're talking about the different meetings, and they're both just like, yeah, same. Oh yeah, meetings suck, you know.
And then she's just there, you
right?
know?
She's just there randomly.
Rokujo.
Yeah. Like that was wonderful. And then the fact that because of that, it helps Tomoruin in the meeting.
Yes.
And then as a result, then there's this cool kickback that Kakushi's gonna get, and he didn't even intend to be doing that anyways.
Because he thinks that Kakashi was being so nice to him, so he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna help set him up here." Yep. I mean, I'm gonna get something out of this too, but that's because I'm working for this, you know. Mm-hmm. And yep. I really love the way in which I initially thought, Tomoruin, you little bitch, like
you just want a free meal.
You're just wanting a fancy meal, yeah, and you don't care who pays. You probably find Kakashi paying because it's like to invite the editor-in-chief, yeah, you have to pay. Right. But it's he makes them think that they both wanted this to happen. So obviously the editor-in-chief pays because the editor-in-chief is the higher paying one of them in general. So it's like, well, of course.
And if it's about work, then business expense or whatever, right? Yeah,
right. Yeah. And he would insist, and Kakashi would have to say yes because there's a hierarchy here.
Right.
But I just love the way he's like, he wants the colored pages,
right?
Oh, like. That's true. We
managed to negotiate into something he didn't even necessarily want.
And I just love the way that Kakashi, even though he doesn't understand what's going on, once he heard that colored pages were on the table, he just goes, yes. Like, right. He's like, I don't know how this came up, but yeah, I'll take that. Yep.
And because, he's neurotic to a fault, so nothing will shake him out of it. He's like, gotcha. No, I understand what it is. Yeah. You want me to go out with a bang? Thanks. I appreciate it. It's the least you could do kind of a thing. Okay, cool. Yeah. But no.
I just love also the idea that we saw actual readers being like, this is great. And then the survey, it just drops.
Well, and the cool thing of Ami just walking around and then seeing someone pick up the manga and be guffawing at it, and it's just like...
Right, I think they had the full magazine, so it was a bunch of stuff in there.
Right, but it's
yeah, they were reading, obviously,
panties in the wind or tights in the wind.
Tights in the wind, yeah.
And the whole idea of, oh, no, because he thinks it's ending, he's a loose cannon, so the comedy just gets... off the wall, ridiculous and amazing.
So you experienced a similar thing where a mangaka just didn't care anymore. But that's, allegedly. But it went a different route.
They ended up kind of backpedaling on it because of a lot of backlash from the fans, but it was in response to a lot of the shitty behavior of the fans anyways. So it was one of those things where it's like, driving this car and then immediately just veer it off into a concrete pillar, and it's like, oh, you
I thought it was more the thing of you're driving your car, you see a bunch of those fans at a convention, you just go and he just
but it was something where it's like, oh yes, let's put one of the main characters in a vegetative state just after they had their big cathartic character moment, and the growth that fans have been clamoring for. Truck hits some vegetative state. It's like, oh shit.
Might as well isekai them for that at that point,
Yeah.
Make just as much sense.
It's like, oh boy, was it a good story decision? I don't know, but I have to admire the gumption, of just being like...
The manga's like, I don't even care. I made my money already.
Yeah.
Right. I can do any manga I want after this. Y'all will eat that shit up.
Oh, you didn't like what I was doing with this character? Well, how do you like a vegetative state?
And in some ways, maybe, for something like that, it's the shock value of whoa, and then people talk about it, and thus it boosts the sales anyway. So it is interesting to think about the idea of a creator who's doing a long-running series that has to wear on them. And I think of mangaka like Oda and stuff, who's been going on a long-running series, for decades
20 years,
now.
Yeah, 25 years.
Still somehow finding ways to, make sure that the quality is maintained. There's obviously parts that people are going to be like, oh, I liked pre-time skip One Piece or this, different or whatever. But it's still doing so much with it.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed now, more and more, just because of this show, really, what kind of stuff mangaka have to do in order to, get by.
Now, I know I have a very different situation, but when Battle Line's released, it was like, this 3-year, labor of love, basically. Yeah, gestation period, right? It's over. I can relax. And then it's like, all right, I'll start thinking, up some other ideas, but I don't need to work on them right away. And then it's like, oh no, the time actually passes pretty quickly. And then it's like, oh, it's 2 years.
Been a year or two.
Right. And it's like, oh, I kind of really want to get working on something else, but it's like, it's just the, okay, that's done. All right. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, I guess, it has been a while. Yeah. Maybe now's the time to start working on something else. So,
Oh my gosh. But okay, this is the second to last episode, the penultimate episode. We have some serious stuff that's being set up for the last episode. I very much did not catch it, but I love that you did. The idea of him being panicky about Hime drowning in the well. That did not immediately clue into me.
And when I saw that the cover had been removed, because I was like, oh no, it's no problem, because there's a big old concrete brick on the cover of the thing. Yeah,
she couldn't have lifted that.
Yeah, no.
But no, Tomoruin. I thought he jumped in there to die or something.
Right, yeah.
He's like, I am now.
Even I realize how much I've failed.
I was all like, I'm a horrible editor. And then Kakushi's just like, well, he is true about that. But should I
Right.
He is my editor though, so I kind of need him right
now. And I love that he was like, I'm not gonna tell him that was just a copy. I'm gonna let him think about what he did.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah. And then he's still trying to blow it off of if you had just gone to digital.
Yes.
Don't you dare try and turn this around on me.
Yeah. Who's the one actually creating something from nothing?
Right.
That's me.
The fact that he was carrying those pages just in his hands, anytime I see in
something that should
even
be in
an
manila
anime
folder.
Right, in a manila folder and hopefully in a plastic bag
sealed
on top
plastic
of that
bag, yeah.
To just make sure no moisture gets in it or whatever. And the fact that it's not just you dropped them on the ground. There was snow everywhere, my dude. Even if they didn't get dirty, they're just gonna get wet and then be ruined, and it's
I love also that they're so I love also that they're so confident in this that they're we never give out to the publisher the actual originals.
Yeah.
We always
make
copies.
Probably have a copy machine in the office.
Right, but I'm thinking about the different levels of scanning before things get actually printed out.
Sure.
Won't the quality degrade a lot?
They probably have a very particular type of scanning that they do to be all right, we make sure it's super crazy
color
detailed
degradation.
Yeah, exactly. And as you're carrying it to it, you're okay. It's there.
I mean, but it's a copy, so it's not important.
No, when you're copying the original, taking.
Oh, of course. But yeah, that's my point.
But yeah, then when you get the copy, it's just okay. Yeah.
But okay, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the final episode's reaction and discussion right now, and also find out what Jacob picked for the next slot, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.